Good evening, everyone. My name is Gozengata, and alongside me today is Steve Hacks. Steve, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, Gozen?
I'm doing great. Today we've got Tornel357 versus ShoFukomachi. Really excited for this race. Super excited for this race, actually. Sho's put in a lot of effort and pumped down those times and is a really fearsome opponent, and Tornel has always been a strong showing. How do you think this match is going to play out tonight?
I honestly have no idea. Sho is definitely ready for or capable of plenty of upsets. I can tell you that much from personal experience. He's not a pushover. We can see what happens here. I think Sho is the 11 seed and Tornel is the 3. So it's definitely a lot that could happen here. Looks like they're counting down for the race to start in 5 seconds.
All right, so yeah, we will be getting ready here underway. For those of you who haven't seen the bracket round here, they're not guaranteed a sword at the start, so it is entirely possible they may be swordless here and not have a way to defend themselves against the baddies of the world. I'm super excited for it, and I do love that too. It just makes for a lot more of an interesting opening start as you can get to many places in the world without a sword. All right, and it looks like we are off. Both our runners getting a great start here, remembering to hold down. I know we've had a couple mishaps of that before, but not a problem for these guys. And I jinxed it. We've got a Sword of Wind.
Well, that's pretty vanilla, it looks like.
And a hazmat suit. So that's nice, and that's an improvement over the gas mask item. Isn't that correct, Steve?
That is, the gas mask and the leather boots have been combined into one item, the hazmat suit, which is protecting against both the swamp and against kind of poisonous ground.
It definitely gives it a lot more use than just the old gas mask there that only did the poison protection in Oak. Looks like both of our runners here heading over towards Partoa. They're going to check in with Rage because randomized turn-ins are on. So Rage, normally wanting the Sword of Water, could want any of our 4 swords today, and he does not want that Sword of Wind. So our runners are both going to head up to Partoa there, make use of the statue glitch, and get another item before figuring out what else they're going to get.
At this point, this item has to be progression because the sword doesn't get them anywhere else right now. So we're hopefully going to see either a windmill key. I think that might be it. Maybe another sword that Rage might want. That's the other option, I think, here.
Possible. Definitely possible. We could see Flight, potentially. That would be very saddening, because then they could get the item in the canal there.
Alright, we have a little more of a fetch quest to get the alarm flute. It's going to send them right back to Leaf, and they're going to wake up the windmill guard after talking to Zebu in the cave, of course. And then we'll see what the next item is, which, again, will probably be a vanilla windmill key is what it's looking like right now.
Man, this is feeling super vanilla. Mind you, as someone who's only played this the vanilla game one time, Sword of Wind, buy an alarm flute, wake up a sleeping guard, go into the windmill cave. I'm pretty sure all of that is the entire first sequence there.
Yeah, I'm going to call it French vanilla. They're not getting the items quite from the same place, but it's pretty close.
I'm down with that.
So Sho using the Wild Warp, actually both of them using the Wild Warp to get out of the cave rather than walking out. Saves them a little bit of time, and now they're going to grind a little bit to pick up some cash and have a little bit of items to use as they work on this.
Now, I believe both of our runners did pick up a medical herb. It looks like Tornel did not, actually. It looks like he's got warp boots, though. I believe he picked those up in Portoa, and I want to say they were 87, I think was the cost. And yeah, there's the windmill key. So very much a French vanilla, like you said. So they're going to use that key here in the windmill to open up the windmill cave. They're going to get the one item outside, and then they're going to have access to 3 inside the cave.
So again, we see Tornel wild warping back to the shrine. In the vanilla game, of course, wild warp is a debug code that takes you all throughout the game, but we've reduced it to just take you back to the beginning of the game to prevent soft locks and give you a little bit of travel help. By going back to the front of the game after the cave opens up, he's able to avoid a little bit of that explosion sequence. We see Sho walking back out the normal way, which is fine too. It doesn't actually save all that much time.
Yep, Tornel did a little bit of shopping while he was back in Leaf there. Looked like he did pick up some medical herbs. And there's the Bow of Truth. So that is one of the required items here for our runners to finish the game. They do have to collect all 3 bows, as well as, since the story mode flag is on, defeat all of the major Tetrarch bosses.
I don't know about you, but I'm a little sad to see that here. It means that, of course, the Bow of Truth is not going to be hidden in the crypt or anything that opens up the Bow of Truth.
This is true. However, that mummy is doing serious work right now on show, and unfortunately taking a death there. I think it was a combination of the mummy and the beholder there, getting a petrify out, as well as some hugs there.
Well, let me tell you, those mummies are nothing to trifle with. And Tornel's got his turn now of being stoned.
That is true, but luckily enough, the beholder said, "I'm just wanting to look at you. I don't want to give you hugs today." Beholder's not really all that about hugging, more just about looking. And there's a sort of chunker. Goodbye, Tornel. You are now on the west side of the world.
Well, at this point, we can say this is anything but vanilla. See some relatively cheap warp boots in Chiron.
It's always nice to have that, too. So, I wonder, are both of our runners going to go back in the cave right away? They are. I was curious if any of them was actually going to take the detour for that roughly 33% on the sword and see what Rage had.
It's looking like they're going to maybe try to route it somewhere else. There's still 2 checks left to get in the Windmill Cave, and so that's a little better odds than checking Rage right now.
Very true, very
And if you get a ball of wind in there, which is pretty likely at this point, then they can just finish out the cave. At this point, the runners seem pretty neck and neck. They're basically just ready to high-five each other.
The only real difference is Sho having a bit more money because he hasn't purchased things, and just slightly higher experience, but as we all know, that can change at any point in time just by killing an enemy or with scaling.
Yeah, once the scaling gets up a little bit, the experience will be increased. Here's our Orb of Wind, just like we were expecting, and it looks like we won't have any divergence for a little while.
Nope, not at all. It looks like Sho did take another unfortunate death there. So he is back at the front of the cave. And our third item is an antidote, so finishing out the cave here is the play. So they're going to have access to the one item here behind the wall that Tornel's about to open, in addition to one item past the wall and an item from Vampire. Fruit of Reppin. Oh boy. That's about as good as a Fruit of Lime, wouldn't you say there, Steve?
I don't know, Fruit of Reppin's got a few uses at least. I'll hold on to it if I'm not out of space.
Alright, Sho picked up his ball of wind here, so he is probably, I'd say, about maybe 45 seconds behind Tornel right now. Hello, Bert!
Well, I will say, Bert is someone I'm always happy to see when I'm watching a race.
I just realized this is your first time in the booth with anybody doing commentary for this, isn't it?
That's so for the bracket rounds. I did a few comms for the Swiss rounds, but yeah, this is my first round here. We've only had 3 or 4 races so far, isn't that so? 5?
That's about right. Yes, I think for the brackets we've had. Actually, I think we've had 5 so far. Could be wrong.
Yeah, with the kind of the brackets, they're a little more spaced out with all the buys. Speaking of which, this is Sho's second race in the bracket rounds, and Tornel's first, since he had a first round bye. Here we see Tornel up at the Vampire, the first boss of the game, and it should be a pretty easy kill for him.
I mean, he handled that very well, getting rewarded with a medical herb for his trouble. Not the worst thing in the world, but at this point, not something you want to see when they're kind of lacking progression and ways to go. But hey, I mean, at this point, there's really only one spot we can get to. Well, I guess that's not true. There's 2 spots we can get to. And a Carissa plant trade in here to get a love pendant.
So that looks like it's just a fetch quest after fetch quest.
I do love me a good old fetch quest to trade sequence around the world, don't you?
Well, who doesn't?
Ooh, a ball of water. Interesting. So yeah, we definitely have to go into Oak here. We're going to be going into the Poison Marsh where the gas mask and now the hazmat suit is going to be utilized. So it's going to make them not take environmental damage. And Tornel making a smart play here and setting up a quick checkpoint because these stupid red tomato enemies here, they can definitely roll into you and you just won't have a good time.
Yes, it looks like Tornel went in around, was it 9:03 or something? We'll see how that compares with Sho. Looks like he did not stop in at Bryn Mawr first.
Interesting. Okay, so since Tornel had 2 pairs of boots, he opted to use one and warp out. And then he's going to go up there and duel some apprentice. I believe his name is Stom. I hear he's very confident in his skills. Isn't that right?
I think that is right. The question I have is, are we going to see him actually fight Stom, or is he going to cheat his way out and just steal the item?
I mean, he's got warp boots.
He does, but is he going to use them?
Oh, definitely.
I think at this point we're still looking for some sort of progression. There's not much else they can get to, so Stom has got to give something. The question is, where are they going to want to be afterwards?
Here's the kicker. I actually like this play because Stom's going to probably give the Sword of Water, and if he doesn't, it's possible that Rage wants Thunder and gives you the Sword of Water because we got the ball. So then we can start that sequence. Telepathy. Oh!
Exactly. So now Tornel's kind of wishing he stayed over in the Bryn Mawr area. But was it worth the extra 45 seconds to do the whole fight? Not exactly clear.
Well, he is going to make the Rage play here, like I thought. So he's going to check that out. Hopefully he gets rewarded with the Sword of Water and can go check the Messia answering machine here. It is! And
that is a treasure right there.
I'm so glad. This is great. So yeah, speed boots, you're going to go super fast with this. Steve, please elaborate on how amazing that treasure is.
Well, we can expect Tornel to equip these speed boots and probably almost never take them off. Basically, the leather boots we found in the base game were pretty boring, and we spiffed them up a little bit. Gave him an extra 25% speed. Normally you go 2 pixels per frame, and with the speed boots you go 2.5. And it turns out that half a pixel makes so much difference. So we're going to see Tornel zooming all around here. Not so much in the swamp, because of course he needs the gas mask or hazmat suit to protect him. But once he's out of the swamp, he'll be zooming all around, and it's going to be a good show.
Alright, speaking of Sho, did just finish his fight there, also using warp boots. No one likes to actually do that fight. So, he got telepathy there, and he's also making the play to go check Rage! I'm so happy about this! And Tornel gets flight!
Well, we got some mobile players here.
And a warrior ring!
Holy
this
cow!
Is so good. So not only do we have high mobility now, but we have great offense power. That warrior ring is going to let our players fire off the level 1 charge shot as their auto attack. So that's super good. So now they're not going to have to worry about XP or money, because if they find a good area, they can just plow through it. They've got flight, so they can get over terrain. They can get over to the ocean. They've got the Sword of Wind with the orb. They can go all through Hydra right now. We've got Oasis Cave. There's so many options open right now.
Yeah, this has been really linear up until now, but now that they've got flight, the game has opened wide up, and so we're going to hopefully see some good divergence at this point.
And it looks like Sho actually doesn't have a pair of warp boots to warp himself back. So it looks like he actually has to go through the windmill cave here to get back to Bryn Mawr.
Did he actually stop into Bryn Mawr at all? Was that the issue?
That is the issue. You are absolutely right, because he did not stop in there because he went and just did the straight sequence there.
I can tell you from experience, not a good idea. I've done that before.
Alright, right, so let's see our item here in the waterway. Change. That's another great pickup. So now they can, with flight especially, they definitely have easy access to the other side of the world without necessarily requiring them to purchase warp boots.
Yeah, that's going to open up the gate from Swan to Goa Field, so they can fly and walk right up into that north end of the game, or the second half of the game. They're just going to check out a few things, though. They've got flight and Sword of Wind, and so the Evil Spirit Islands open up. There's, I think, about 9-10 checks in there, and so I'm going to bet that one or the other is going to go into there pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the teleport point, the warp point back into the zombie village there. That is a super play, especially since you can clear all the way up to that, and you don't necessarily have to go up into the fortress. And Tornel is making that play right now.
We had a question in chat about the answering machine. Did Tornel not actually go back behind Rage?
No, so at the time, actually... When did they get flight? They got flight from there. So no, they didn't.
Oh no, it was telepathy, and then they went in the wrong order.
Telepathy for the check to get there, and then they didn't get flight there. So Sho now getting his flight and getting the warrior ring there.
So it looks like Sho's probably gonna route that in now, maybe.
Well, Sho just put on the warrior ring, which
Interestingly
tells me
choosing,
that
yeah.
Gonna do a little bit of grinding here. He's prioritizing that XP over the movement, but let's see if he remembers about the answering machine, because Tornel, you are absolutely correct. He did not get that, and Sho is actually skipping it as well right now.
Wow.
This could come back to bite them. And Tornel finding our first Mimic, I am so happy, as well as a Psycho Shield here. Super nice. Psycho Shield being the best shield in the game. I don't know a shield better than that. Looks like Tornel trying to kill that Mimic there a little bit, because it looks like it's vulnerable to wind, but deciding that he's bouncing around too much, he's gonna dip out of there. And I just glanced over. It looks like Sho Wild Warp back. Is he going back to check? Yes, he is.
All right, Sho. Let us see what we're gonna get.
All right, Sho. We're gonna get the information about the Angry Sea. You're gonna give us 2 checks out of this, and Tornel finds Mimic number 2.
So at this point, they don't have teleport. They're beholden to shops buying warp boots to get around. They're going to want to kill these mimics.
I completely agree, and that's a great spot to farm that Mimic too. Tornel absolutely just letting that reload here to get that Mimic, just kill that down. Very, very glad to see this. We all know Mimics are near and dear to my heart, and going from 550 to 999, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, you can buy about, I don't know, 6 warp boots with that right now.
For sure. All right, so let's see here. Tornado Bracelet. And the key is Stixie. Sho is absolutely getting rewarded right now for getting a max damage sword available to him. Not to mention sword charge glitch and a glowing lamp.
So that's going to give him access to Lag Storm if he remembers to use it.
That is very true. That's also going to let him open the Iron Walls. So if he does go to, say, Oasis Cave, this could give him a little bit of an extra edge, but Tornel also has access to that with the Ball of Wind as well. So we'll have to see how that plays out for the routing. So it looks like Sho is not opting to go into Evil Spirit Island. Looks like he's actually just going to go past it here. Make use of the change spell and get himself over to Goa Fortress. He might be thinking about just going back towards Pyramid area, getting that cleared out, as well as Oasis Cave.
I, for one, am pretty happy to see this Divergence.
Oh, Divergence is amazing. Anytime runners diverge, it's a great day.
So Tornel just finishing up the second vampire fight, heading up to Sabera 1. In the base game, of course, we see Sabera's disguised as the heroine Messia, but we're not fooled by that. Picking up, is this the first opal statue they found?
That is correct, and that's a great pickup. So if they were ever to fully die, they lose all their HP, they will be revived with full life there, as well as get a decent amount of iframes. Those iframes are no joke, as they last quite a long time. It can definitely help out, especially in some of the nastier fights later. And Sho, ooh, Sho, yes, he's checking. What's the little rabbit? Got a shell flute. Unfortunately, Dio not hiding anything from us, and it looks like Tornel is doing nothing but pinging here against Severa.
It's an interesting choice, using Sword of Wind to ping. I assume he checked Thunder and saw that she was also immune to Thunder. But generally, Thunder is going to do a little more damage, because each separate shot that she eats does 1 damage. And so the three-way spread from Thunder is actually going to do more damage at tinking.
That is definitely true. I think he's also doing it because it's less lag that's going to be generated as well, because that the 3 spread shot does create lag. So I think he's just trying to go for like a machine gun B strategy, if you will. Lots of small stings.
So let's see what we got in the grind spot in the pyramid.
Ooh. Spiders and skellies. So the spiders are nice, but the skeletons, not so much off the bat.
Not so great for grinding on.
Yeah. But Sho is getting items here. Shield ring, not the best thing in the world, especially considering all the other options we have, but that is something helpful that they could use to mitigate damage if they don't know how to fly over, say, I don't know, statue turrets.
So I would have said that Tornel was a little bit in the lead before. He's spending a lot of time in this grind fight. This might actually cost him quite a bit.
That is very true. And Sho putting on a great display here for the Dragon 1 fight. Manipulating him, getting a lot of good stabs in. I'm kind of surprised he actually didn't equip the Warrior Ring here just to go for the charges.
Well,
but,
in order to equip a bigger sword, he's got a level 3 wind sword, and he's not using the shots. So he's not doing near as much damage as he should be.
Oh no, yeah, he hasn't flipped over. I bet you he's still on wind, and he just hasn't swapped over to it because it doesn't automatically equip unless you actually unequip and switch. No, he was on
that's Thunder. Okay. Yeah, no, I mean that was perfect technique, but it took a little longer than it should have.
Ooh, and Tornel
likewise for Tornel.
Not getting rewarded with anything useful there. Sho picked up an Orb of Thunder there at the end of the fight. Tornel's gonna check the Clark Kent spot here. Honestly, item-wise, not too great, but getting a bunch of free healing and such like that, that's not bad. Both players now
2 bosses down.
Yeah, that's actually fairly big for each of our runners here. Mind you, one is closer towards the end of the game, but the long gauntlet stretch that you have to check in terms of items getting up to Severa can also be daunting. And Tornel now is routing in Messia answering machine here. So this is good. So I wonder if he's going to go check the sequence, and since he's already went the water 1 time, I wonder if he's actually going to go check our wonderful caves to the east.
Well, there's a couple different approaches you could take here. Sometimes you might like to wait until you've got access to the Flute of Lime check and find out what's going to be in those caves. That can be, of course, a dangerous play, because it might lead you to bail out early when you shouldn't.
Yep, that is absolutely true. I would honestly give a little bit of an edge right now to Sho. And the only reason is because of the Tornado Bracelet. And also having the orb there for Thunder, just to be able to full clear the areas. But that being said, Tornel is picking up his Tornado Bracelet right now, and then also going to have the information about the Angry.
That's right. We've got Sho picking up the, or actually can full clear now the Oasis Cave. I didn't catch what was in that chest right there.
Medical Herb.
And now we'll see what's in the Power Ring spot.
Interesting. So Tornel's warping back to Bryn Mawr, probably, yep, to pick up more warp boots. So, smart. Barrier! That's a great pickup.
That is a really great find. It's not required logically in this flag set, but it's always a good thing to have. Helps for most of those boss fights.
Oh, for sure. It's a great thing to have. Very much so. And speaking of location checks here, Tornel is actually checking Amazons here. Wanting a beautiful charm, so that's going to be the love pendant that they picked up earlier. It gets rewarded with a mirror shield, so always a good thing to have a shield. But we do know that the Psycho Shield's already there, but the Battle Armor is the nice pickup.
That is, with that they've got now a full set of armor, and we see, on the other hand, a Psycho armor in the Oasis Cave for Sho, before he heads right into the Carmine basement.
I'm still loving this. Our runners are continuing the divergence path, and I, for one, am really enjoying this race right now. In terms of checks, both of our runners are at a very close scaling, 20 to 22. So they're getting close to things in terms of the XP that enemies are going to give. And it looks like we do need the Ivory statue here to get Slime Kensu back from being a slime.
So you mentioned scaling. Do you want to say a little bit about that?
Sure. So every item in the game that our players find out at chests or from bosses that are unique items, such as the armor, swords, orbs, and spells, for example, they're all going to make they're all going to increase the scaling factor, and that scaling factor affects all enemies in terms of the damage they deal, health they have, and pretty much makes it so that all elements of the game are relevant at any given time. And while I'm giving you this amazing explanation, Sho found 2 mimics and both bows.
Wow!
That is insane!
Carmine has got the stash there. So now they have got all 3 bows, and it's just a question of killing those bosses as quickly as they can.
Yeah, so this is actually a big deal. The reason this is such a big deal, Sho is basically in no mode, being he has the knowledge now. He's got all the bows. I need to kill bosses. He needs to kill all the bosses as quick as possible. And unfortunately, Carmine here is not weak to thunder, nor is he weak to wind. So he's going to take him down.
Yeah, I think at this point it's worth mentioning that this is a story mode flag set. And so what that means is that in addition to having all the bows to get into and reveal Dragon's not actually going to spawn until all the bosses are killed and all 4 swords are found. And so even if they can tink the bosses down, they still need all 4 swords.
Steve, I just had an amazing, wonderful thought. And you mentioned this earlier. You said there cannot be a bow in the crypt, but there can be a sword.
There can be a sword. That is absolutely true.
I would absolutely love for one, if not both of our swords to be in the crypt, and our runners just kind of put it off.
And we see over on Tornel how fast that fight could have gone. He unleashes 1 tornado and then 2 or 3 stabs, and he was done. It's looking like maybe our players are maybe converging their paths back again.
Yeah, Tornel definitely made a little bit of ground here because that was a faster Dragon fight. That being said, Sho not really getting a whole lot from the Carmine fight itself, but definitely getting rewarded just with the boss kill itself.
We also see
he
here
had a couple recover items.
Yeah, we also see here a nice technique. Sho got poisoned on the way out of there and decided to just head right on back to that checkpoint and reset. If you reset, so you can't actually save when you're poisoned, but you can checkpoint and reset, and then you cure those status ailments. And so that was a great use of that checkpoint. So now we see Sho's going to continue going backwards through Goa Fortress, heading over to Mado's area, where we should find a nice ninja cannonball waiting for him, see what he's weak to. This could be a nice fight now, or one he's going to bail right out of, and then maybe 5 or 6 chests. I don't quite remember the number.
So we've got the Warrior Ring that does help to make the fight a little easier. Barrier also helps to make the fight a little easier. Level 7, 24 scaling. That's about a good place for that. And he is getting another level right now, so he's going to put him at 8 for the scaling. I would feel comfy in that fight. I don't believe Sho. I could be mistaken. No. He has an opal. He should have an opal from earlier.
Yeah, that's right around the spot that he might consider it with the Warrior Ring, with everything else, depending on what he's weak to.
Honestly, it's the best place to use it. I would never say, oh, I want to do this fight without ever using it for sure. And we're going to check that weakness here. All right, does not look to be wind. Oh no. Oh no. Yup.
So
he's gonna reset out of
okay,
that.
with 24 scaling, Mato 2 is going to have over 100 hit points, doing one damage per shot, and not dying twice. It's a long shot. You know, I might, if it was me, I might have tried one try and see if I could do it with one opal, and you know, just in case. But it's probably not even worth the time.
Oh no, I wouldn't touch that to save my life. Frankly, that's just too much. Even with the scaling low, just the amount of health that he's gonna have there, I wouldn't even chance it. I would rather, especially since I have the knowledge of where the bows are, and I don't know where my opponent is. If you're constantly feeling behind by finding all the bows right there, which is definitely a feeling that you're gonna have, just finding, oh look, here's bows. Now I gotta go kill bosses. That's definitely a position I'd never want to be in. So like right now, it's just constant pressure to perform, kill bosses, find those swords.
Yeah, that's a good point. So they've got to find those swords. Sho is scaling Mount Hydra now. We have, again, about 5 checks up here. I don't think he's gotten any of them yet before he started this, so he's going to check out the ones that require sort of wind, and then eventually at the summit, he's got flight to go all the way across in full clear Hydra, so this is great.
This is definitely a great play. We're going to hopefully see something good out on the Gozen ledge here.
That does not look like something good.
Hey man, Fruit of Power is always good in my book. Alright, Tornel's now making his way here into the Carmine fight, realizing that, yeah, you're immune. I'm still going to do this.
Yeah, there's no question about that. I'm not sure what scaling level I wouldn't tink Sibera at.
I mean, you've got Barrier. Even without Barrier, I would probably still take it.
The great thing about, because I'm sorry, Carmine, did I say Sibera? The great thing about Carmine, of course, is that he travels a set path, and so once Matrick graciously showed everyone about that, he becomes a pretty simple fight, because you just know exactly where he's going. You can stay out of the way and not get bought by him. Sho's having some fun time dancing with warlocks and butterflies over here.
Who wouldn't have a great time dancing with warlocks and butterflies? But as we all know, flyers are jerks.
I don't know. I think those warlocks are pretty big jerks, too.
Ooh.
And a mimic on top of Mount Hydra.
That's good. And actually, now that I think about it, Tornel has not done top of Hydra yet, has he?
No, he hasn't.
Which means we found 2 mimics on Hydra. This is good. This is good.
I don't know. I wouldn't get your hopes up.
I don't know, man. The Hydra play may not have cleared out for Sho, but Sho is now in the Evil Spirit Island cave here. So now is the time he's going to make that play.
Yeah, it's hard to say who's ahead here. Sho's gonna catch up and pick up the Sibera 1 kill. Tornel is gonna find out that Mato 2 is not someone he wants to tink, and then I don't know, he might go Hydra, he might go somewhere else. He's got to find that sort of fire though, and we still have no idea where it is, so it's gonna be somewhere else.
It's
gotta be one of the caves.
I've got pretty good authority. You said it's not in one of the caves?
No, it's got to be in one of the caves.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I was gonna say I've got it on pretty good authority that we go check that.
Yeah, I think that's about all that's left at this point. I don't think there's any trade-ins they've got waiting, so they've got to find it in either Fog Lamp or Crystal Plant Cave.
Yep, they're gonna need that for sure.
Sho getting his second shield, or no, sorry, his first shield.
Okay, let's see how quickly Tornel nopes out of this. Just on a scale of 1 to nope. I think it's gonna be a 3.
That would be
He's
Not a
trying for
3.
it. There it is. I'd say that was probably about a 3. 3 on
Yeah,
the
I'll
note
give you
scale
that.
there. I mean, he did give it a try for a little bit. I don't think that was just confirming. I think that was definitely like an actual honest try.
No, that's right. I can't fault him for that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Looks like Tornel is gonna trigger the front sequence here. I do like this play, because that could be that Meta 1 could be weak to something different. And for all we know, he could actually go up and check General Kelbest. Ooh, and he is. I like this. I like this play.
This also opens up, yeah, Meta 1, and so there's a few items there, and possibly all of Sabera's area, so there's quite a few checks in there that we could get.
Yep, because we've got Flight, and we've got the Orb of Thunder here, so we're going to get the check here. Presumably, we can kill Kelbesk too here. We're going to kill him and then get his one item. We're going to get 3 out of Sabera's area here. Ooh, vulnerable to Thunder. There we go.
So we see
And-
Tornel using the sword charge glitch to get up
Beautiful.
to level 3 Thunder, and that's going to make Kelbesk basically a big nothing.
Don't blink.
They don't have the power ring, so it actually is going to take maybe 2 shots.
You are right. I still blinked. Recover? Not the worst thing in the world. I mean, just, you know, getting rid of status effects, but we do have the battle armor. We've got the Psycho Shield, so not necessarily the best thing in the world either. Now, that being said, Tornel will keep this sword charge glitch, so he's going to keep this Thunder 3 until he goes into his menu. Or until he changes swords. So, he's going to keep that power. He's going to keep that ability to charge up to level 3 here until he does that. And there's the Sword of Water. So this
There
is
we go.
definitely the play.
Yeah, he's going to want to keep the Thunder Sword charge glitched at least until he sees Sabera 2 and knows what she's weak to. And he might head right up there. Well, no, he's going to go down to the bottom check, it looks like. So there's 3 chests in Sabera's area, there's 5 in Mato's area, and of course the Sabera check itself. And now that he's actually got another sword, he's gonna probably take one more stab at Mato 2 and see while he's here if he's vulnerable to water. And if there's fire sword here, this could be a very quick end of the exploration.
That is very true. It is worth noting there that that was a consumable because he was able to walk over it, and obviously he's not going to go into his menu because that will get rid of his sword charge glitch, and he definitely wants to have that higher check. If Thunder is the weakness, you always want to get that charge out. It's so good. It's just so much more beneficial for your damage output and just killing a boss in general.
That's right, although he is kind of light on opals, and, you know, level 2 versus 3, he's got the warrior ring. I don't know. I might have actually checked. Newer versions, of course, will tell you what's in the chest, and that's a kind of a nice feature, but we don't have that here. So, yeah, he gambled on losing an opal there. Not that big a deal.
Do you tank this? Question of the day. I don't know.
That is a good question. I mean,
think I would-
Sabera 2's got such high defense that you're practically tanking her most of the time anyway.
Yeah, I think I would probably try for it. And it looks like Sho is also making his way here to the front of Goa Fortress. Gonna get that trigger, and he is gonna make his way in. Now, Tornel is gonna say, I'm gonna wait, go check out what my good friend Meta 1 has.
There are 6 items to be had there. 1 from Sabera and then 5 more from Mato's area. So, you know, it's worth trying to get if you can. I mean, if you can get that last sword pretty quickly, that's that is the end of it. So, I mean, they're just looking for the Sword of Fire at this point, and as soon as they find it, they're running.
Ooh, and guess who's weak to Thunder?
Is it a Ninja Cannonball?
It is most
Whose
certainly
name rhymes
a Ninja
with
Cannon.
Beto?
I definitely think it rhymes with Beto and NATO.
The last thing, of course, is that they have absolutely zero access to Kelbesk 1 at this point. So they need to find either the key to the prison, or they don't have teleport yet either, do they? So they've got to find something.
Even with the key to prison, they wouldn't be able to get in there because they don't have a Sword of Fire.
That's right.
I just had a really big thought, and I'm excited about this thought. So, our runners know where the key to Stixie is.
That's right.
Yeah, so this could turn into a hunt for the broken statue to use with the glowing lamp, so we can have our golden statue and calm the angry seas to go get 6 chests.
Yeah, there are all sorts of ways we might get progression.
The other option, which neither of our runners have checked yet, but both of them have been to. They've been to the pyramid. They've got access to the crypt. That Sword of Fire could be in there.
Oh, I'd bet on it being in the crypt. You know, that's a pretty good bet, I think.
It's a safe one. It's 2 checks, but at this point, like, you've got all 3 bows. Yeah, it's a little bit out of your way to go there, and it's not really, you know, like, you never feel good checking the crypt when you've got other options, such as...
No, and you know you have to go back to get those bosses.
Cave. Yeah. I mean, like, when you've got Fog Lamp Cave, neither of our runners have touched Fog Lamp Cave.
No, either of
our
them.
runners have touched Carissa Plant Cave.
But you gotta watch out for last location in the crypt.
In grand scheme of things, I would much rather last location crypt than last location one of those caves. Especially Fog Lamp Cave with 4 items in it. I would rather, density-wise, last locate the 2. Alright, so Joe's checking his swords here, realizing that he's tanking. He's thinking about it.
Oh, he's gonna go for it.
Ooh, I like this. I like this. This is gutsy. He doesn't want to do a revisit. He doesn't want to come back. Knows he's got the opal. Can definitely chance this here.
Tornel finding the mimic on top of Hydra, and looks like he's gonna maybe head out for those caves. So we're gonna see. Hopefully, some new territory from both of them now.
Yep. I'm gonna tell you right now. I know I wouldn't feel good with going, like, being right now in Tornel's shoes. Going, it's almost 41 minutes in. I'm now checking this. I've had access to this since when? Like, I don't know,
they've had this since the beginning of the game.
Yeah, like I would feel rough about this going, I still don't have Sword of Fire. I've cleared a lot and I feel good about that. But man, like, if you find Sword of Fire, especially if it's the first chest, which thankfully it's not, but if it was, oh, that would hurt.
No, you're just waiting for that dot done if you see that there.
Yeah. No, that would definitely just be 100% pressure. I will say that
Sabera 2. Oh yeah, Sabera 2 is gonna have at least 150 hit points. She could have even 200 at this point. So this is gonna be something.
Ooh. Good job, Tornel. You found Mimic 7. Continue.
Fog Lamp Cave, of course, having 4 checks. The first 3 are very close to the front, and then there's a whole trek out to the very back of the cave for the last check. With the speed boots, it's not quite so bad.
Speaking of great things to find, there's our second opal of the game. So that's a super great pickup. Man, Joe's making great use of the triple bolts there, like you were saying earlier, making sure you get all 3 of them in for those extra hits. He's making sure all of those he gets
great
a chance
positioning.
Yeah, that was really nice. Oh, Eddie gets it. All right.
Way to go, Show.
Lysis plant for his reward here.
Well, it's not so much the plant as it is the access to Mato's 5 checks here. Plus, possibly, Mato could want water. So he could ride in that fight as well.
Now, we know, or at least we think we know, fire shouldn't be here. Thank you, Sho, for finding Mimic number...
You never know. If Mato's weak to water, fire could actually logically be here. But that's actually a good point. There's a 1 in 2 chance that fire can't possibly be here logically, and so that was actually probably a good play on Tornel's part to nope out.
Yeah. Yeah, I would play those odds. Like, finding water, yeah, you've got the orb, you've got the warrior ring. That's still not a safe fight. There it is. There's Sword of Fire.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Now that turns some things around right now.
Okay, so that's a big deal. So that puts Sho in just boss rush mode right now. I mean, level 10, 31 scaling. I've got my armors. We've got barrier. I'm sure it's a quick check. I get it. Could be the power ring. It's an iron necklace. Ugh. Not the best thing.
Well, I mean, he's looking for that key to prison or the teleport, because he still has no access to Kelbesk 1.
That is true. This is definitely true. Having all the swords here though is nice. I really hope to see a sword charge glitch. No, that's unfortunate. Sho.
Yeah, he bailed out of fighting Mado too.
I think he just realized it. Yep.
Well, he can walk out the back way, and then he can sword charge glitch anywhere. So I think it's a solid. Actually, and he should be able to reason exactly what Mado 2 needs. So he should be able to sword charge glitch it right from the start.
Yep. So he's gonna take down this. Should go pretty quickly. Probably 2 charges. Meanwhile, Tornel, wonderful sound over there. We've got flail guys going crazy.
And he doesn't have paralysis or any good way to deal with them.
No.
Aside from just tanking the hits.
Yep, and is making good use there, shoving them back. So that way he can just get rid of those. Now, what have we got here? Oh, it's another consumable. That is really unfortunate.
Yeah, that is disappointing right now. So, out of those caves, there was nothing for progression.
Is he gonna go to the crypt?
He's gotta be. He knows well, I think he's betting on Sword of Fire not being in Goa, so that's gonna be the last place he checks, I bet.
Okay, so
fortunately for Tornel, he's gonna get some time back while Sho spends all that same time checking all these caves.
This is true. Yeah, he's got to find a way to get up to Saber North here. He needs teleport, or he needs the key. And
now you're sitting in Sho's spot. Where do you go? Do you go to the caves, or do you go to Saber West?
Okay, so here's the biggest thing that I would do. I would ignore the caves at this point, because I found Sword of Fire. That would actually tell me, hey, I'm gonna go to Saber West, because it has not been open till this point. Waterfall Cave wasn't open till this point, and I would, if I'm gonna go to a cave, it's gonna be Waterfall Cave for that reason.
Oh yeah.
Because I could be mistaken, because I've seen so many fruits happen. I've seen fruits happen. No, Sho, pick that up. You want that? Good. I was like, yeah, that's an opal. There you go. I would actually highly consider doing that, and I think we have the Flute of Lime.
Oh, we do, and we would have found out that there is nothing but consumables in this cave.
Yep. So definitely would have told me.
That would have saved him a lot of time. We get a storm bracelet. That is beautiful right there.
That is the only reason Crypt was good.
Well, we got one more. Let's see what we got. I don't think it's going to be that key to prison, though. I'm not hopeful on that.
It's gonna be my mimic.
You still got 4 more to go. Sorry to tell you.
Hey, it's okay. This is the one that could not be checked, because if Sho doesn't go to Crypt, it's not checked. It's a consumable!
Yeah, no, those weren't good odds.
Oh,
so at this point now, Tornel's got nowhere else to go. He's got to go back into Goa, I think.
He's got to go into Goa. He doesn't have Saber West. He doesn't have Saber North.
He's got 1 trade-in, but I don't think he's got access to... it's probably what Kensu wants. We didn't have paralysis.
So Sho's going back to Portoa here after getting the Ball of Fire. Looks like he is going to go to Waterfall Cave. I'm surprised he didn't Sword Charge Glitch and just go straight in. I think Tornel's stumped. I think he's actually thinking through this now, because he's not doing anything. He's looking at his items. He's thinking of his options. I don't think he can do the 50-50 and go, Mado 2 is weak to...
No, he's got it. He's got it. He's going to go back for Mado 2 now.
So Sho just found the broken statue in Waterfall Cave.
And as we know, that's going to get him access to Stixie. The question is, do you take Stixie or do you go Saber West? I mean, he's going to finish this cave, obviously, first.
Yep.
And maybe we don't need to go anywhere at that point.
That is entirely possible.
Because as soon as Sho finds that key to prison, or teleport, he is in go mode.
Sho is looking for a way into Saber North. Sword of Fire is on Mado's floor. So Mado has to be vulnerable to water at this point because our runners didn't have water when they got there to do that, and fire is on Mado's floor. Sabera was vulnerable to fire.
Yeah, Sho tinked her down.
Sho did the ting strats, and it paid off. And getting a medical herb for his problem there.
Still got 2 more checks, it looks like, on this floor, right?
Yep, he's making sure he gets the broken statue because he's got so many key items there. Still, and what have we got there? Mimic!
1 more Mimic for you.
And a consumable. Okay. So what does that mean for Sho?
It means Sho's got to go to either Saber or Stixie. And it looks like Stixie is his choice.
Stixie is good, but why did he port to Joel? Oh no, he's turning in the statue. I'm done.
Right, he's got to get the key.
He's gotta get the key, yeah.
Here's the moment of truth. There is a possibility that access to Saber North is stuck on Mado.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So Tornel could still be in this. Especially since he has the Blizzard Bracelet. Which I think Sho may actually have now, too. Unless that was in Crystalis Cave. I don't remember if that was in the Crystalis Cave or not.
So Tornel making quick work of Mado with the matching sword. Gets refresh. Not progression. Not a bad find.
Definitely glad to have a healing spell there. Always a good thing. Tornel just saying, I'm not even going to check the top item yet. We're just going to drop straight down.
Now this is the standard path. Drop down, grab the 1 check there, go back up, and then down. Actually, he's diverging from that. Maybe this is a new, better path. I don't know.
It's because you can check it on the recross, that's why. Because he went to the left side first before going to the right side items. He did just find the Sword of Fire, so he knows exactly what's going on now. That means that he will be able to kill Sabera 2 in a faster time than Sho did for the fight, which is good.
But he is a little behind on checking things, so he's gonna... I mean, if he might go through Waterfall Cave, or he might go straight to Saber. That's gonna be the question. Did he just skip that bottom chest?
Yeah, that's what he's going back.
Oh, he was just checkpointing to see what... Yeah.
Yep.
And he's got the 1-up on the hallway.
Yep. Yeah, but he's gonna check that one, and if he doesn't like it, he's gonna reset back down there, save on scaling. Because that could potentially be a make or break point, because he is actually up right now by scaling by 1. So keeping that as low as possible is definitely gonna help him.
So finding nothing up there, Tornel resets and goes back to that checkpoint.
Yeah, he knows I've got all the swords. I don't really care about a trade-in sequence because the trade-in sequence isn't going to give him anything since he's got sword charge glitch and things like that. Not too worried about it.
Sho picking up warp boots for $850 in Portoa.
That sounds like a steal to me.
Grinding for more money. And Tornel having a slightly easier time with Sabera, although Warrior Ring with her defense is still going to be a slightly tough fight.
Alright, Tornel is done now with Sabera, which means that all he has left is Kelbesk 1. Which is the same thing here that Sho needs, but Sho also needs that Mado 2 fight. I'm hoping he doesn't forget about that.
Yeah, that's right. So here's the question: he's going for Saber. So at this point, this is still anybody's race, depending on who can find access to Kelbesk 1, the elusive general.
This comes down to, was Stixie the play by going into Waterfall Cave, or is it over here on Saber West that they had access to immediately when they got the Sword of Fire?
Well, here's the thing. There's 5 checks on Saber West. There's 6 on Stixie, but one of those Saber West checks is an NPC, so it's got slightly better odds of having a good item.
Thank you, Sho, for finding Mimic number 10. And the Flame Bracelet.
And there is Teleport. In fact, they could actually both get access at the same time.
That is extremely
if Sho
true.
finds the prison key and Tornel's got Teleport, he'll have a slightly longer path to get there. But this is certainly a possibility that they could both get access, not checking the other one's place.
So this is actually a very good point that you make. So thank you, Sho, for finding Mimic. So the biggest kicker right now, Tornel has the one boss advantage because he doesn't have to go into Goa again.
He does. That is huge. Tornel actually is in Go mode at this point. He knows exactly what he has to do. There's no more items he's got to find.
Nope, he's just going through the motions at this point. Just force the spawn. Guys are getting kidnapped. Unfortunately, Sho does not come out of there with anything super, so Saber West was 100% the play needed, because we're not seeing that prison key, unless it's buried on the eyeglasses, but honestly, I wouldn't be checking that.
Yeah, at this point, Tornel has a pretty big advantage. After disabling those 2 blocks, one from talking to that rabbit after getting the villagers kidnapped, and one from having teleport, he just waltzes right into Saber North, skips the checkpoint in Nadares, skips all these chests, flies right up the slope to that general.
That is very true. And Sho, meanwhile, is entering the front of Goa. Now, I've never timed it, but is it faster to go through the front?
I don't think it is. Yeah, I'm not really sure what that's about.
And Kelbesk won Thunder Week, so we're gonna see more of our wonderful lag storm strats here. Some warrior ring shots, take him down. Nice. Getting rewarded with an antidote. It's gotta feel good. Just gonna toss it right on the ground. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him go straight over to Sahara. He may opt to spend.
He might be thinking about getting some items here, or he's just going to go right over.
I mean, he does have a refresh.
Not sure where Sho is at, and he's got 3 magic rings. That's not going to be enough to lag storm your whole way through.
But those are fruits of power.
2 more fruits of power. That could possibly do it. He does not have the flame bracelet, so he's kind of stuck using lag storm as his only main big attack spell.
Well, I mean, not necessarily.
He could use Blizzard on Dragon.
You could storage charge glitch it.
That's true. I don't see that happening, though.
You could set it up. I would definitely see Thunder on Dragon, and I could definitely see afterwards doing Tower with Fire if he wanted to.
I don't know. I often do Fire on Dragon, but, I would do Blizzard on Dragon to save mana at this point.
It's still less hits. I wouldn't be surprised if, because you're not worried about it. Like, level 12 with 37 scaling, yeah, we don't have the power ring, which is, honestly, it's got to be on Saber. It's either Saber West or Saber North, but, frankly, I would still probably just do the lag storm and then just get up there because of the lag frames that it creates. I would just utilize that and actually just go and get some sword stabs in.
Sho taking out that Mado 2. I think possibly wondering if maybe Mado 2 had the progression he needs, although he should note there are 2 different progressions, so maybe he's just clearing this up, trying to do this sweep now. Tornel starting the fight with Dragon 2, revealing that, in fact, he is a giant green monster.
Wait, you mean Dragon's a dragon?
Yeah, funny about that. Sho is missing the Blizzard bracelet, which is really unfortunate for him. He's kind of stuck going and warrior ringing Mado 2, which is not a place anyone wants to be at scaling 38. Below in the opal statue. Tornel gets his first lasers.
Alright, and Sho does take down the Mado 2 fight here, getting his refresh, so it's definitely a good feeling, but it's not where you want to be 58 minutes in going, I still need to do Kelbesk 1.
That's right. Without the power ring, Tornel's having to do a few extra rounds on Dragon. So he's sitting in the little spot right there that ensures that Dragon's gonna have a better chance of opening up. And here he comes for another round.
There it is.
And Sho going into Saber West the front way, triggering the kidnapping, but not yet talking to the rabbit, of course.
Nope, he knows he has to go here to check stuff, so he's gonna head here, get that on the way back, similar to what Tornel did. He's gonna probably just wild warp back, get in there, get that rabbit, go up for the kidnapping, and then make his way similarly to what Tornel did up the mountain. And there it is, Sho grabbing his teleport there.
So he's going to head right over to... oh, yeah, leave first. Make sure to talk to that rabbit, open up the path.
Yep, it's good that he forgets this. A lot of people, especially myself included, have gone there and forgotten about the rabbit, even after triggering the kidnapping sequence, and you just get told that, no, you can't go up here yet.
Yeah, I have definitely been there too.
So I know we mentioned the MP issues here, making sure everything's good. Tornel is opting to use the Warrior Ring, lean on that a little bit more. I actually do like that, especially since he hasn't seen Sho's dot done yet.
And he doesn't have the power ring either, so
yeah,
there's
that's the thing.
Switching back and forth.
Yep.
No, that's definitely the play at this point.
Yeah, no, I definitely like that.
So, clearing out the brown robots on the second floor. It looks like he's maybe got another 2.5 minutes to go, I'd say.
I'd say with the lack of powering, maybe 3.25.
And Sho's feeling some pressure, but probably also feeling a little good that it hasn't seen a dot done yet. So he knows he's not too far behind. He's got one more boss to kill, and then he's gonna be in go mode himself.
I mean, honestly, both of our runners should be feeling really good right now, especially with how they've handled the seed. It's honestly giving you a vanilla start, French vanilla start, so to speak, and then ending up with what they got. Still being, like, at this point, just over an hour is still extremely good.
Oh, definitely. No, this has been a good seed. They've been running it really well. Personally, I've not actually gotten under 118 in this flag set, so... You know, I can definitely commend them both.
Alright, and Sho did just finish up the Kelbesk 2 fight here, so he is on his way here over to the crypt. He's going to use those bows here and start climbing. Tornel, though, looks to be finishing up the third floor here, just finished off the bronze or copper robots. We'll be charging down at least one set of the whites here.
Yeah, I can tell you, anytime you're in the crypt before you see the dot done, you can usually feel pretty good about it. It's looking like, is Sho getting an item, or is he trying to do more grinding to get up to 13?
I hope not. He is at 40 scaling. But he shouldn't need level 13 at all.
No, 12 is pretty common, pretty standard. That's all you really need. Oh, from chat, it was poisoned and needed magic. So if I'm not incorrect, I think Tornel actually has one or two opal statues, so we could see him just charge right up to the front and center.
Yeah, I would imagine some tank strats happening here. Nope, he's just gonna use the safe strat here, just go for it. As long as Dana cooperates, should be done here in just a moment. Alright. with that, he's just got to make sure he doesn't die here to the last little orbs, which mobile statues somehow glitching out. Don't see that happen. And it looks like Tornel has finished here with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 3 minutes, and 26 seconds. GG Tornel. Looks like Tornel will be joining us here in the booth in just a moment. All right, meanwhile, Sho is heading up here to the Dragon 2 fight. Looks to be putting on fire, especially since he's got the flame bracelet there. So definitely going to utilize this here. It's going to look a little bit different than the lag storm, but still going to be the same concept. Going to wait for the laser.
Still a solid
open.
strat.
Yeah. Looks like Sho's going for the wing tank here, hoping to get put on that pixel.
And now with the wait.
There it is. Wait was not too long.
Oh no, slimed.
That is rough. So barrier
Yeah,
doesn't
the dead
fully
frame and the
protect.
barrier.
Yeah, it's got 1 frame. What is it? It's an 8-frame spell, and it's got 1 dead frame.
Yeah, I hear 1 and 8. It seems less than that to me, but you know, who am I to say? And it looks like. Go ahead.
All right. And joining us in the booth now is Tornel. GG, and congrats on your first place finish.
We're not hearing you.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Hey, there we are.
And GG's.
So, gotta ask. You're in Goa Fortress. You get up to Mado. You go away from it. You come back in, and you're at Sabera. Walk me through that.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much to say, other than it was trolling me hardcore, I felt like. I almost tanked her. I thought about it, because, you know, I was in a tank mode if you couldn't tell.
Yeah,
that's
actually,
exactly what Sho did.
Yeah. Yeah, so Sho actually tanked her, got the Sword of Fire before you did, but didn't go up. Unfortunately, didn't go up to finish out Mado. Probably thinking that water was the weakness, which you ended up having the Blizzard Bracelet for, and he does not. So he had to actually Warrior Ring that down with the Orb.
Yeah, and Mado is, of course, the furthest from a sword charge glitch spot.
So really, if I had tanked her down, I probably would have been finished way sooner if I checked, like, the rest of the world.
Yep. Yeah, that would have happened, because the sword was really the only thing you were missing at that point, since you did get water.
Well, the sword and access to Kelbesk won.
Oh, yeah. But I think
that was
I don't
very
know,
interesting.
getting the sword would have probably steered you over to Saber West sooner than it did.
Yeah,
Oh,
I almost
no.
didn't check Mado's area. I almost forgot to.
So Sho is
I had
struggling
the
a little
sword
bit
against
here.
him. Yeah, he is. You guys like my mimic fight and evil spirit?
It was the best. It was the best. Goes into the cave. I'm gonna get it. 2, 3,
You kidding me, man?
4, 5, 6. He's a master. It's exactly what it was.
He deserves to live. I'm done.
Like it had to be me in that box. I guarantee you it was actually me in that box, just moving at the subtle moment there. It's just master of drunken kung fu, just sidestepping it as it's coming at me.
Oh man, just
unfortunately, I got to break the news that you didn't actually quite do it. There were only 11 mimics.
Oh, I tried.
Yeah, you did. It's very true. So that last mimic had to be on any of the other chests on Saber West or on Saber North. But yeah, unfortunately, only 11. But still, I say only 11, and there's only 12 in the game. That's still really impressive.
So did Sho tank the other bosses?
Both of you checked Mado when you had 2 swords. I want to say Sho did.
I don't think he did.
Yeah, you tanked Sabera 1.
Also tanked Carmine.
Yes, and you tanked Carmine. Yes, Sho did tank Carmine. You both tanked Carmine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yep, I was like, I could have sworn he did. Yeah, both of you guys tanked Carmine, which was, by the way, great call. Just to get that out of the way. Really great.
Yeah, I think somehow I didn't get hit the whole too. Like, that was the thing. Can't really think of anything that really stuck out from this seed.
I don't know, the mimic stuck out pretty well.
Yeah, those caves on the left to right of waterfall. You both kept them actually till really late in the seed, and finally go in there after they've been open for half an hour and find absolutely nothing. That had to have felt kind of crummy.
Yeah, I think I found.
You did find.
Bracelet? I can't even remember.
I think it was a flame.
On the Blizzard bracelet in there.
So not absolutely nothing, but not what you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely needed.
I mean, it definitely helped in the case of Mado too.
Yeah.
But then I think you skipped a waterfall. You made the right call coming out of Goa with the Sword of Fire and going straight to Saber for those density checks.
Almost went waterfall, because I usually do that first, but switched it up this time. Worked out. Early game, I always go waterfall first, but late game seems to be not as good, like you said, because of density.
Exactly. The only thing you would have really got out of there was the flame bracelet, so that would have been a nice added bonus for you. But I think with what you had, you did great. I think honestly, you were pretty happy with that.
No, it definitely paid off getting teleport right off, and then, at that point, you knew you were in go mode, and you start flying up there. What are you thinking then?
I just hope I'm ahead of the show. That's what I was really thinking at that point.
I mean, you didn't mess around.
Yeah, I knew I had what I needed to finish the game, so I just went for it. Pretty much. Because ever since I found the 3rd bow, I'm trying to get all the bosses out of the way.
Yeah, so speaking of bow, you found both the sun and moon like right next to each other. I think it was a top and bottom chest there on Carmine's floor. What did you feel at that point? It's just, oh man, sword hunt boss kill? Just, did you feel pressured at that point?
Not really. It's kind of, in a way, it's relieving. If I had Sword of Fire, it would have been really, really relieving. Just to know that you don't have to worry about items. Once you find the last sword, you can just go boss. Unless, best case, you can't get to it. You have to find it. Either key to prison or the teleport in this case. We had left already.
Well, with this being story mode, it wasn't quite as challenging of a question of when do you actually go in, because you are stuck looking around for those last items you need.
I almost made the mistake of skipping Mado's chest, his area. I've done that before. Forgot I didn't have the last sword for a little while. Luckily I remembered. Really bad.
Sho making good on Crystalis, and heading up to put it into Dinah.
I was really hoping the game wouldn't make us go all the way back around to Mado from the back. That's why I was trying to do everything else I could first. I definitely had that thought once I found the Sword of Water that he's going to be weak for that, not go all the way back around again.
Well, so it was an interesting, I think, decision not to tank Sabera, because you could be relatively sure, unfortunately not 100%, but relatively sure that the sword wasn't in there. Unfortunately, it just didn't quite pay off that time for that particular aspect of this run.
I don't know, I was just afraid that it would take way too long to tinker. That's what I was worried about, I guess. But it would have paid off in this case.
And Sho finishing up with an official SRL time of 1:13:41.
The GG Show.
Hopefully he's on his way into the booth.
That's definitely possible here. Yeah, it looks like he will be joining us here in just a moment.
And we have Sho in the booth here. GG Sho.
GG's, thanks. Woo. That was a seed.
That was absolutely a seed. What did you think of that?
Well, I tried some things that I normally don't do. Sword glitching, did some different routing. It was good. I'm surprised I was able to tink so many bosses. But with Warrior Ring early, it kind of made that possible. But just trying to find the swords was a pain in the butt. And with water and fire both being in Goa was really annoying.
Yeah, that was definitely a sword hunt instead of a bow hunt for a change.
Yeah. Yeah. And with what was Sabera 2 weak to? Because it had to have been fire and water and fire were both in Goa, right?
Yeah, she was weak to fire, and Mado too was weak.
Oh.
I actually did not tinker, went all the way back around, killed Mado, and then got the sword.
Oh god. Mado, because Mado was water.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the logic wanted you to get water out of Sabera's area, go around the back, kill
Oh god.
kill Mado to get fire, and then come back around. I guess you don't have to come back around the front at that point. But no, it definitely wanted you to go the long way around. So your choice to tink Sabera 2 was actually genius.
I mean, I was with the triple hits on the Thunder. It wasn't super terrible in it. I think it was at like 30 scaling. So
No, and that was a beautiful fight. But I gotta ask, what made you decide to nope out before you went to Mado 2?
I tinked Mado 2, or I tried to hit him, and it didn't. So I was like, nope, he's gonna be moving way too fast to try to tink the boss. Even at 24, I don't know where I was when I tried to fight Mado 2 for the first time.
Well, the first time, yeah, but then the second time when you came around from the front after you tinked Sabera, you had the sword you needed for him.
Did I nope out? I don't remember.
And I think you might have actually been able to reason that it was guaranteed that you had the sword because it couldn't possibly even fire.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did have the sword, didn't I? Oh, well, no idea. Oh, maybe I was looking for something, I don't know, like a blizzard bracelet or something. But yeah, not being able to go the back way through Saber North was really annoying. So I tried to find teleport, and so I could go up the front.
Yeah, it turned out that both entrance items you needed, either teleport or key to prison, were both in Saber West, I think.
Oh.
You never saw key to prison. You both got teleported that first chest, and then just hightail up just to Kelbesk.
Yeah, and then 5, 6 unfortunate deaths on Dragon 2 was not helpful for sure. But yeah, I don't know why Dragon 2 was giving me so much problems today, but it is what it is.
I think the decision to skip Mado 2 and then basically you get a choice. You get the Sword of Fire. Do you go for Saber, or do you go for that Waterfall Cave? And that also makes a bit of a difference.
Yeah. So for me, it was just remembering that I almost forgot to redo Mado 2, and I was like, oh, I might need to go back and go do that. So yeah, this was definitely a sword hunt. A practice I did last night, or the night before, was what ended up being a sword hunt too. So at least I'm more prepared for it now.
Well, it was definitely a treat to watch. So thank you both.
Absolutely. GG's again, Tornel.
GG's.
Does anybody have any last thoughts?
Well, I look forward to whoever I, have to go in the losers bracket next week. But
That will
definitely
be
had a
Goody
lot.
Gada.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
That's right, buddy.
Well,
Well, did we get
So-
Mimic percent today? I don't know.
Unfortunately, no. You were just one shy.
Yeah, no one cleared
11.
Saber.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, Saber North and Saber West, I guess, were the last two places, and then I don't know, Insect Flute or Swan. But yeah, look forward to that and continue on this tournament.
And so with this, I believe Tornel is up against. Do we know yet?
Axeman.
Oh, well, good luck with that one.
Yeah, he's like my nemesis.
That'll be good. It'll be lots of fun to watch.
We've got, I think, one more match this round of the tournament. We've got on Sunday evening, Matrick and Dragon Dark. So that should be a great one to watch as well.
Yes.
All right, with that, if no one else has anything to add, I think we can close this out. I'm not sure what else is going on with any other speed gaming channels, but I'm sure they'll host it on over.
GG's
So-
again, Tornel, and thanks, Speed Gaming for hosting us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for hosting, and thanks for the great games, the great show, and cheers.
to
It's always
Steve for
fun.
making
We got plenty more of these where these came from in this tournament. So stay tuned for the next matches.